So the Cycle Frontier just put out its first big announcement on Season 2. We're getting an entire new map, gear perks, new in-game activities, the official release date, and we have a bit of gameplay sneak peeks to speculate on for Season 3. Let's get to it. Now, if consistent updates, guides, and gameplay on the Cycle Frontier really butters your, you know what? A lot of you have said this is cringe and you don't actually want your biscuit buttered. I think I know why this is. The Cycle Frontier is from a German developer, so most of you, I presume, are German followers. So the Cycle Frontier really tickles your schnitzel. Consider subscribing. So the new map is called Tharis Island. The devs are saying that this is going to be the most intense and most challenging map in the game so far.
Season 2, we add a third location to the game, Tharis Island. Tharis Island is intended to be the most challenging and tense map in the game so far, and is only unlocked after progressing to a certain point in your campaigns. With this map, we see prospectors explore a remote island far off the coast from Bright Sands. Originally discovered and exploited by Korolev years before the cycle hit, it hosts a number of abandoned faction bases, lush ravines, alien progenitor artifacts, and a labyrinthian cave system, large parts of which no faction or human ever even reached. Those who went too deep either lost their lives or came back mad. Now, 30 years later, you're invited to be among the first prospectors to uncover the secrets of Tharis Island and go deeper than any human before you. Compared to previous maps, Tharis Island puts larger focus on interior spaces, light and darkness, and hidden in its depths, a new in-match activity which I don't want to spoil, but rather let players find, interact with, and ultimately figure out how it works on their own.
Which for me already means regardless of the state of hackers in Season 2, this map will have less of them. Having it locked behind progression is a smart move. But creative director Days has much more to say about this new environment. Here, we see a new material called Progenitor Composite. I'm not sure if this is something that is found in the depths of Tharis Island at random, or if you obtain it from a new mission or activity, but I Googled Progenitor, and it actually gives us a hint as to what it might be for. Progenitor, a person or thing from which a person, animal, or plant is descended or originates. An ancestor or parent. The next part of the clip shows us that we are in a cultist area, making me think this is some piece to an important artifact that was being worshipped. I would guess that this is used or needed to complete a new in-game activity or mission. Next, the creative director goes into new gear perks. This is another new feature that we've all been requesting and looking for in the community. With the current ability to mod weapons, if done right, the addition of gear perks will add a whole new layer of customization, getting us closer to what I think this game needs to be long-term, which is having actual builds.
What we can say about the new activity, however, is that it in some way relates to combinations of perks being added to gear. This will have several impacts on the game, including having the best of an item within its category is no longer about just one thing. For example, having the best armor in the game won't just be about damage mitigation. Additionally, you'll be wanting to try to get your favorite combinations of perks, but also the highest stats of those perks on your favorite items.
To me, what that sounds like is that they are already headed in the direction of builds anyway. If there are different in-game activities that allow us the potential of obtaining unique pieces to a gear perk that maybe you need to complete across multiple raids or maybe across multiple maps, we are approaching MMO-light concepts like that of Destiny or The Division. And I am hoping that that is where the devs are headed, but with their own twist. Season 2 will also be featuring new missions, with all new branches off of the current faction missions that will guide and tease you through Tharis Island.
With Season 2, we're also adding new campaign missions. Tharis Island is unlocked by progressing in the existing campaigns, but we're also adding new branches for each faction that guide you through the map, exposing players to more and more challenging content. Each faction has their own reason for being interested in Tharis Island, and you'll get to explore those as you uncover the history and secrets of its underground tunnels. We're also going back and iterating on the main campaigns, adding variety with new mission types and conditions. What we want to be is a game that asks you to overcome increasingly difficult and different types of challenges, rather than grind over repetitive tasks that you've already mastered, and we'll be improving this over time.
I am so glad that they are making changes to the current missions and jobs. Over time, they're obviously going to have to add variations and alterations outside of kill 20 creatures at this location. Like, to be honest, I'd rather give my dad a Dutch rudder than to stash one more grenade at a dead drop. Fortuna Pass is also getting upgraded in multiple ways.
With the new season comes a brand new Season Pass. We hope to take what we've learned from Season 1 and deliver an improved Season 2 Pass with more unique cosmetics to unlock, more relevant gameplay rewards, and better balanced progression.
I enjoy the Fortuna Pass, and I'm glad that they're doing work with it. I think it's an important feature, especially for the non-paid players. Fortuna Pass is fully unlockable by completing in-game objectives. You do not have to buy it. If you have no intention of putting any money into the cycle, this is perfect. So building up and diversifying this feature is a positive. Now, reconnecting. This has also been a common complaint and request from the community since I've been involved with the game as a partnered creator. As of right now, if you are to disconnect from the server while in a drop, when you relog back to the space station, you will be thwarted of any mission progress that you've gained, but more importantly, you lose your entire inventory and loadout that you had. This does not work. The devs say that they have finally fixed this.
With Season 2, we are finally adding a much requested feature, the ability to reconnect to a server without losing your gear, if you were to for any reason get disconnected or crash from the game. We know that this has been requested by a lot of you, and while it took some time, we're happy to finally be adding it to the game.
So now, if you're in the middle of a dungeon and suddenly DC, you can restart the cycle, and when you do, you should be placed right back to where you were. Now, anti-cheat is a biggin. It's a biggin. It's safe to say that while all these new features, especially some of the ones coming up, are super exciting, none of this matters if the anti-cheat team doesn't get the hacker situation on lock by the start of Season 2. If cheaters are as much as a problem as they are now by Season 2, I honestly don't think that the cycle will have much of a player base by Season 3.
We're adding some pretty big pieces of content with Season 2, but we're also improving the core game, and here our #1 priority is anti-cheat. We don't want to be a game where your experience is regularly damaged by cheaters, and this is an ongoing fight. I don't want to give too much detail away here, but with the major season patch comes big updates and tweaks to our anti-cheat measures that overall should result in cheating being more difficult, annoying, and costly to do than during Season 1. We hope that these updates, together with the recently added compensation system, result in significantly less cheating overall, but also that it's less damaging to your experience when it does happen.
While it's not the end-all be-all, the newly implemented cheater compensation packages are a quick and much-needed band-aid on the cheater situation. I've already started to see packs almost every time I log in and check my players' quarters, which is great to get all that hard-earned gear back, but also really bad because it shows the amount of cheaters that it proves I've encountered. Within the coming days, I will be doing an interview with the head of the Cycle's anti-cheat team, Toast, live on Twitch from the link in this video's description, so that we can get some more light into this ongoing situation. Speaking of cheating, ping restrictions are finally coming. This will limit the ability to hop onto servers outside of your intended region.
We're also working on implementing ping restrictions, which will limit the ability to hop on servers outside of your intended region. We hope that this will lead to two things: less laggy players on any server, and added difficulty for cheaters to make the lives of law-abiding prospectors harder on whatever region they please. This is a feature we hope to add to the game soon after the launch of Season 2. Note that you'll still be able to squad up with friends from outside of your own region.
There will also be a few quality of life changes, but I've still yet to hear the main one that I've been asking about since Beta 2. Jesus.
In the sell screen or showing stack sizes in shops. You can expect more quality of life improvements to get implemented as the season is live, including things like the ability to bookmark and track recipes or bulk buying gear from shops.
Bookmarking recipes will be extremely useful in drops. How many times have you gone into a raid, you look at your missions and your jobs, and you're like, Yeah, but I feel like I was supposed to remember to grab some other material while on planet. So when I get back, I can craft armor or consumables. This will allow you to pull up whatever recipe you have bookmarked so that you have a visual of what it is that you need to grab. A1 edition. But what I really wanted to see when it comes to quality of life was a crafting queue. Right now, you can literally only craft one thing at a time. If you want to craft an armor set, you have to craft the chest piece and then hop into a raid, wait for it to maybe finish, and then when you get back, you would still have to craft the helmet and then wait for that as well. What if you could just put both into a queue so that once one is finished, the next will begin, and you could maybe get a notification whether you're in the space station or in a raid that allows you to remember to check the gear printer when you get back. This would also be super helpful when it comes to crafting consumables in bulk. Now, if you pay attention to your menus in the space station, Season 2 has a countdown and shows that the game will wipe at 90 days after launch. They announced today, though, they will be pushing this back to polish new features as well as the new map and continue to perfect the anti-cheat. So the Cycle Season 2 is set to release now for September 28th. But what of the future? What else are they working on that you should actually be excited about? As the parting word from today's big announcement, the creative director gave us some teases at what Season 3 may include.
Those are the main additions and changes for Season 2. But what about the future? To not give too much away, some of the features we're looking to add in the upcoming seasons include tactical gear built for specific playstyles, the Howler, a flying mini-boss that roams Fortuna 3, new sci-fi guns added to especially the mid part of progression, new maps that showcase wilder parts of Fortuna 3, further PvE enemies as well as new dungeons, clan systems, and more.
Now, these upcoming additions are very exciting to me. Many of us requested a flying creature, so they're giving us back the Howler. This is a creature that was utilized in the previous iteration of the cycle, and while the devs gave no details other than it flies, I looked up some footage from the OG cycle. Now, the new cycle is a lot more intense, so I presume this creature will be getting tweaked and made to be a lot more scary. Now, truthfully, this only matters if there is still a player base by the time they are able to start working on some of these new things. If some of the current issues are never fixed, the cycle could die off, resulting in most of this never hitting servers. Is it already dying? Recently, we looked at the facts, the real numbers and information, as well as discovered the catalyst that will kill any game. Check it out in this video here. It's good.